Hello, I am Tanu Tomar, President of the Warwick Podcast Society, and I would like to welcome you to the first podcast of our season. Today, we are joined by Mr. Shanaka Nagasinghe, Business Model Transformation Manager, Global Financial Services at Jaguar Land Rover. Shanaka is a seasoned professional with over 17 years of professional experience across telecom, IT consulting, and automotive industries. He has made the proverbial triple jump where he has pivoted industry, role, and country after completing his MBA from Warwick Business School in 2023. A telecom engineer turned strategist, we are grateful to have you here today to share your learnings from your dynamic career trajectory. So to begin with, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah. First of all, thank you very much, Tanu, for inviting me for this. If I explain the role, business model transformation manager, it sits within the strategy and transformation function of global financial services. That is, if you look at, if I explain the role of the global financial services of the JLR, so we have the different financial services partners across all the countries and the regions, and we work with a kind of like white label partnership model in different regions. So the prime responsibility of this role is to continuously track the market changes and evaluate if the FS business model meets the needs of the business on a current time frame, next time frame, and the future time horizon. And if it is not, to suggest any improvements or the changes in the business model, and build a business model transformation roadmap along with the regional teams as well as the FS partnerships team, and take them on a journey of transformation. Yeah, so that involves in terms of the activities pretty much horizon scanning, strategic analysis, hypothesis building and validation, and then identifying the capabilities we need to build to go in this journey, and a lot of storytelling and story building. So because we need to get all the stakeholders on board with that journey. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. We spoke about the triple jump. You've changed your country, industry, and role, which definitely would have been incredibly challenging. Can you give us some key strategies that helped you navigate this transition easily?
Yeah. So if I look at the triple jump, it is not something I planned to do that, but it happened on the go. So if I reflected on how it happened, I would say it's the first strategy is to the battle minor resistance to initiate the change. So that's for that actually I have a practice of observing myself continuously what I'm doing and what's the purpose and is it meets my long-term objectives. Am I happy if I'm contented or not? So that's one of the reasons actually that initiation happened, and then I took it forward. So I think if anybody want to do that, it's a transition. First thing is to initiate the change, and then finding the right means to end. So I think the decision I made to come to Warwick Business School to pursue this journey is an invaluable decision. So I think I never regret that, how much cost and time and effort involved, and also from our personal lives. It's an incredible decision I made. So it is not enough. Even though you are in the right place at the right time, if you don't have a plan, you won't be able to achieve that. So I had a plan from the beginning. So that was selecting the right discipline to enter to the market and focusing on that throughout the journey and taking the maximum out of the MBA. So that is one thing, and also the commitment and the dedication. So I have maybe I'm working too hard, but it's a habit. So I have dedication and commitment to the extent that I have laser focus on what I'm doing, and that actually gave me the results. So that's, I think, is something that we can build as a skill, as being to be resilient in the journey. Yeah.
You spoke about skill. You spoke about the skill of resilience as well as some of the skills that you've picked up during the MBA. So as a postgraduate who would probably want to pivot industries, what are some of the transferable skills that you think they could take with them?
Yeah. So in terms of the transferable skills, like if I look at my career transition, so I started as an engineer into telecom domain. I would say like that's the only role I played with the subject matter expertise because with a 4-year engineering degree, only 3 years. So afterwards, each and every role I took project management or the digital services or software development or IT, and then to auto financing. Everything was new to me, so I had to learn. So learning fast is a capability you need to develop. So I was very good at that, taking an on-the-job learning, and that is not sufficient enough. We need to be hands-on. So that's something that I have practiced to move things forward, being self-initiative and take the lead. So I was always being in the driving seat. I have never been a passenger. So that is a habit. So I want to take the control out of my hands. So that's the nature of the way I work. And also, other thing is the problem-solving skills and decision making. So one of the things that I've observed as something missing in most of the growing leaders. Decision making means like with the limited information and the limited time. How do you make decisions in the uncertain world?
Right.
So that is another thing, and also you need to take the feedback on the go. So as long as you get the feedback, you know whether you're on the right track or not. So that's pretty much the strategy I used.
Right. I think the next thing that's on our mind, and I'm sure everyone watching would also relate, that the UK job market is definitely very competitive. Right. As an MBA who's also getting into the same, what were some of the strategies that you had applied when you were applying for jobs? Because Warwick also offers a lot of resources. Are there any particular that you would recommend to our viewers?
In terms of the resources, I think the main resources I used for the job exploration was careers team support and the relationships, like all the events I attended. So initially I attended each and every event. So without a selection. So, but I kind of explored what interests me, and I made sure that I had few areas of interest like consulting, strategy, the operations management, the change management, and the project management, my core area. So along with that, actually, I kind of try to get the participate through the interview processes for the different areas as well. Even though consulting was not my first option, I went through the development centers to get that experience as a learning. And even for the jobs I applied, I went to even final interviews process through consulting, even though I didn't have the experience. So that was a learning experience for me. So I identified these are the skills I need to develop if I want to be employed in that area. So that was really helpful, and also some other the support from in terms of the CV customization and doing mock interviews with the careers team and get the feedback how I want to, what are my blind spots, how I communicate, and how I should change. Everything was through the support of the careers team.
Right. So, like you were mentioning, that attending events for different clubs that may be of interest to you, did you think that was beneficial?
Definitely, because one of the things actually I really recall. The strategic consulting competition.
Right.
So that was a really great experience where there was a set of people came from industry to judge, and we had the real experience, and then actually we came the first in the competition. So it was like really, I was delightful after the event, and also we had a good chat afterwards as well. So it's really an invaluable experience.
That's great. So in conversation with you earlier, we just discovered that your initial motivation was to change geographies and industries, which brought you to the MBA.
Yeah.
So did that perception of the MBA change maybe during or after you completed your course?
Yeah, so because the reason I wanted to actually, the first move was to move to the UK and get the settlement, because I had a strong academic background. This is my second MBA, and I had about 4 qualifications. So I didn't want to do another qualification. So that was tactical move. But in the process of the application process, I figured it out that getting the MBA is not the ultimate goal. we need to get employed in the UK. So I interviewed the people and then got a recommendations if how to get employed, few business schools to apply. So through that, I started exploring what Warwick MBA offers, and it really inspired me. So change-making program is something that I really wanted to get into and get the exposure, so that I will get the build to the next level. Yeah.
That's great. We're glad your perception of the MBA changed during your application. Another interesting thing that came up was that while you were applying for your role at JLR, you'd applied for a different role, which ended up being converted into the one that you're working with now.
Yeah.
So what was that process like? And what are some adaptability tips that you'd like to share with our viewers so that, when they're applying for jobs, they could be adaptable?
Yeah, I think that was not planned at all. So I think applied for the FinTech and Innovation Manager and then ended up with this role. But when I look at reflecting what I'm doing right now and to date what I've been doing is exactly what I have pitched in the interview to the interview panel. So how it happened was because I took time to prepare myself and do the right research of the roles. And I try to bring my capabilities to that because it's strategy and transformation is going together. So the previous role I applied was more of strategy development, and the next role is about strategy. How do you transform and take people on a journey? So I have touched on those areas, taking example of one of the current the career episodes I have done, and then I try to bring my experience through that, and I pitched the same thing that they expected for the other role. So that's why it's got recommended. So I could finally find my interest area through the process. So I think that's why we need to make sure that we have we call the T-shaped profiles. So I have multiple skills, and I try to focus on have one specific area to build, while other skills are complementing to the skills as well. So I can select any skill to apply for a particular role and customize the CV accordingly. So that's what I've been doing.
Right. You mentioned CV customization and also I think reading the job description carefully. So how important was that in your journey of applications?
I think it's really important because the first step I do is I try to find the keywords in the CV, and really I try to understand word by word what exactly the expectations of the role. And also I try to even interview some of the people who has been doing similar roles, or maybe if I can approach the line manager or the recruitment manager to understand what is the expectation of the role. So it might be not something you are written on the document, the expectation might be different. So with that insight, I try to customize my CV, taking each and every role I played in my career and bringing out what is the expectation. To meet the expectations, why should I pitch? Right? So that's something that I think everybody can do, because everybody has different skills and different experiences. So how you can make that transferable to the ask is a question. Right.
You touched upon what was going to be my next question, and also something that we've been advised to do a lot, which is network. We've had sessions telling us how to network.
Yeah.
So what was that strategy like for you? Did you have something key that you did to make sure that you networked with more people?
Yeah, I think this is a good area. So networking is really good, but question is how quality is our networking is, how rich our relationships are. So the first thing I think the networking should be to build relationships, not to find jobs. So to do that, we need to have need to connect with the people on a personal level. So it's hard to do in a kind of with a one meeting. So rather than trying to reach volumes, I tend to have a good conversation where that I can project myself, authentic self, with them and try to connect in a idea level. I would say what's my view on that. Even though I disagree for something that other person says, I respectfully disagree, but I say about this is my opinion. So that definitely it's a good way to connect rather than trying to say yes and please the other person. And other thing I've noticed is we have a lot of events. everybody's like gathered around one person and asking questions, and there's a competition to pitch, right? So then the person will understand that. So it's not what we need. I think we need to like see how we can build that relationship so that at least you can take that opportunity to get a recommendation from that person to the right person. So that's what I've practiced.
What about LinkedIn outreach or cold emailing? Was that part of your process as well?
It was, but I didn't try to like go and like connect with each and every person before having the conversation. So I try to like make the first impression and make sure that that person will remember me at least for one reason, right? One reason. So then I try to connect with that person. So that really worked. So then I could take it forward as well to the next level.
Right. So from what I gather, you're talking about how it's important to first build a relationship, have that conversation, and then maybe build it further through LinkedIn.
Correct.
That I think would be definitely helpful. So what's next? Like, how do you see your career progressing? Is there something that you're working on?
Yes, definitely. I think it's a continuous progression. So I've never stopped my preparation. So I think what I call is like the luck. The opportunity meets preparation. So somebody might see that, okay, I'm lucky, I got this opportunity, but it's not. I've been continuously preparing throughout the career to grab this opportunity. So I never stop that. So I have different skill sets, but I have explored a new area right now. So it's been 2 years. So it's too early for me to like even to think of like any other opportunity. I would say that I would build technical skills in the auto financing domain, and maybe to that I need to like look what other roles I need to like play in the same domain to broaden my skill set in the auto financing domain, and also the storytelling and the communication, persuasive communication skills. That is really key. Any role, any person who grow up the ladder, and that's an area that because being a detailed person. Lot of things going in my mind, so I need to like see how I can simplify that and try to make impactful messages to others and to influence. Especially when you grow up the ladder, you'll have to impact and sell stories to bind them into your projects or whatever the things that you want to get through. So that's an area that I'm working, and also I keep the options open. So that's another thing that so within the organization, so networking has not stopped. So even within the organization, there's a lot of networking to be done if you have to grow. So I think that has to also need to continue to do that. Yeah.
Taking forward your concept of impact and influence, a lot of our viewers are international students who have moved from their respective countries and now trying to enter the UK job market. Did you witness a cultural shift from Sri Lanka and now that you're working in the UK?
Yeah, definitely. It's because I'm coming from a part of the world that have different value set in terms of different areas. Like for example, it's more of a collective culture than like individualistic culture, and so we are a little bit dependent than being independent. So I have found an area like now. In terms, this is a new role created. So I need to build my territory. I need to create the role within the organization. So it's a new thing for the people. So I cannot expect everything to be like decided and directed. So I need to be independent and create that. So then only that. And also I have worked in the previous career with like more predictable with the clear directions. So it might not be the same here. That is one area. So other thing is like in terms of the in terms of like the how you perform the role. So I have been in cross-functional roles where I don't work according to only for the job description. So I tend to take things if I need to deliver the results. If it is even though it is not within my role, I would not hesitate to go and do it. So, but you cannot expect the same from the people here because the experience I've got even interacting with the outside world, if it is not within your job role, either I don't know or like it's not my problem. So you need to take ask that person. So that creates the silos mentally.
Right.
So how do we really maneuver through that and build a career with the value addition, the value you can create is something that you need to look at. Yeah.
That's definitely very insightful. And now I'm sure everyone's already witnessed the blue bottle and the blue badge that you have, WBS, and I'm sure coming here would have brought a lot of memories.
Yeah.
So what are some of your best memories at Warwick?
Yeah, I think best memories, I would say it's like a little bit of personal as well. So I have 3 little ones, so 5 years, 3 years and 2 years, 2.5 years actually. So she's an MBA baby. So my wife delivered the third child during the MBA and on the dissertation deadline date. So I was in the theatre. So it was a personal achievement to get we got the third child. And on the same time, it was very challenging for me to complete the dissertation. So at that time, I was progressing as like I could barely pass the dissertation with the support of like the Warwick Business School as well. So we had the self-assessed extensions of 2 weeks. So I remember I locked myself in a syndicate room for 2 weeks. And that time my mother supported the family because she went through a C-section and she was not couldn't do anything, and there were 3 little ones. So I remember coming to the Warwick Business School in the morning and going at the midnight and locked myself into the syndicate room and progressing that this dissertation to a level of distinction at the end and made through and became top 10% in the MBA batch as well. So it's a really good accomplishment. I never forget that. It was a painful experience, but still I'm really happy for that. Yeah.
Congratulations on the distinction and also for having a Warwick MBA baby.
Yeah.
And on that happy note, that brings us to the end of our podcast today. Thank you so much for taking out the time to speak to us, and I'm sure our viewers will gain a lot of insights from this conversation.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you.